Success is not an accident. It is not luck. It is not magic. Success is built day by day by the choices you make and the rules you live by. And when it comes to living by rules of discipline, hard work, and vision, few embody this more than Mark Cuban, billionaire investor, Shark Tank star, and self-made entrepreneur. But what makes Mark different is not just the money, it's the mindset, the unshakable drive, the refusal to quit when life slammed doors in his face. From sleeping on the floor with nothing to his name, to owning the Dallas Mavericks and building companies worth billions, his journey is proof that success leaves clues. Today, I want to share with you Mark Cuban's top 10 rules for success. These are not theories. These are principles that have been tested in the fires of reality. If you apply even a few of them, they can transform your career, your business, and your life. So listen closely. Take notes, because this is how winners are made. Mark Cuban's first and perhaps most powerful rule is simple. Work like someone is working 24 hours a day to take it all away from you. These are not just words. This is the mindset that turned a man who once slept on the floor of a tiny apartment into a billionaire entrepreneur. Think about it. Every day, someone out there is hungrier than you. Someone is studying longer, practicing harder, putting in more hours, and fighting with more desperation. If you relax, if you get comfortable, if you think your spot in life is safe, they will overtake you. This is not paranoia, it is reality. Competition is everywhere, and the only way to stay ahead is to work with the mindset that your success is always under threat. Mark Cuban himself lived this rule. In his early days, he wasn't just working normal hours. He would stay up all night learning new computer systems, reading manuals cover to cover, practicing until his knowledge outshined everyone else's. He wasn't the smartest, he wasn't the richest, but he refused to be outworked. This rule is not about being busy for the sake of being busy. It's about intensity, it's about moving with urgency and never letting complacency take root. Too many people wait for motivation to kick in, but motivation is temporary. Discipline, on the other hand, is permanent. The person who works with Cuban's mentality doesn't need to be told to hustle. They know that every second counts, and every second wasted is an opportunity lost to someone else. And this is not only about business, it's about life. If you don't work on your health, someone stronger will be ahead of you. If you don't work on your relationships, someone else will treat that person better. If you don't work on your dreams, you'll end up working for someone who did. Mark Cuban's rule is a wake-up call. Success is not loyal. It will not wait for you. The moment you relax, someone else is ready to take your place. So work not like you have time, but like time is running out. Work like your future depends on it, because it does. Mark Cuban often says, the one thing in life you can control is effort and knowledge. You have to know your business better than anyone else. This is not just advice, it's a survival law in the world of competition. Think about it. In business, in sports, in life, knowledge is leverage. If you know more than your competitor, you have the advantage. If you know less, you're already behind. And Cuban built his empire by being the one who studied harder, dug deeper, and understood the details nobody else cared about. In his early career, Mark wasn't born into wealth or connections. What set him apart was his hunger to learn. When he didn't understand something, he didn't shrug it off. He stayed up nights reading every manual, researching every detail, and asking every question until he knew the subject better than those who had been doing it for years. That's why when opportunities showed up, he was ready. He wasn't guessing. He was prepared. This rule is a reminder that most people are lazy when it comes to knowledge. They skim the surface. They know just enough to get by. But Mark Cuban's mindset is that just enough is never enough. You must know so much about your field that nobody can challenge you. You must be the expert. You must be the person others turn to when answers are needed. And this applies to more than business. If you're in a career, know it better than your boss. If you're starting a side hustle, know it better than your competitors. If you want to invest, study the market so deeply that no trend surprises you. Knowledge creates confidence, and confidence creates opportunities. Mark Cuban didn't succeed by being lucky. He succeeded because when doors opened, he already had the keys. He had done the work. He knew his business better than anyone in the room. So take this rule seriously. Don't just work hard, work smart, learn harder, outread, out-prepare, and out-think everyone around you. Because in the end, the person who knows more will always win. One of Mark Cuban's most powerful rules is this: work like there is someone working 24 hours a day to take it all away from you. This isn't just about hard work, it's about mindset. Imagine someone out there, hungry, relentless, doing everything they can to beat you. That's the reality of competition. The world doesn't stop when you take a break. Somewhere, right now, someone is training harder, studying longer, and pushing further. Cuban's lesson is simple. If you want to stay ahead, you must work with the urgency that your future depends on it, because it does. When Mark Cuban was starting out, he wasn't the smartest, the richest, or the most connected. But he made a decision that nobody would outwork him. He stayed in the office until late at night, read books while others were partying, and hustled while others were sleeping. He didn't believe in luck. He believed in preparation meeting opportunity. Think about this rule in your own life. If you're building a business, remember there are thousands of people trying to do what you do. If you want to rise, you can't afford laziness. If you're chasing a career, know that someone else wants your promotion. If you're an athlete, someone else is training harder. The difference between winning and losing often comes down to who is willing to push longer, sacrifice more, and stay consistent. This doesn't mean you should burn yourself out. What it means is to eliminate excuses. Most people fail not because they're incapable, but because they stop too early. They rest while their competition keeps going. They quit when the finish line is just ahead. Cuban's rule teaches discipline. Act as if someone is always on your heels. That pressure will force you to dig deeper, to sharpen your skills, and to stay hungry. When you adopt this mindset, you stop wasting time. You stop waiting for motivation. You start moving with intensity every single day, because the truth is, someone out there really is working to take your place. The question is, will you let them, or will you outwork them? Mark Cuban once said, "Sales cure all." What does this mean? Very simple. No matter how great your idea, your product, or your dream, if you can't sell it, it's worthless. Too many people get stuck perfecting their product, polishing their skills, or waiting for the right time. But Cuban is direct. Learn how to sell. Because sales bring money, and money gives your business oxygen. Without it, everything dies. When Cuban was young, he sold garbage bags door to make money. He sold software even when he barely knew how it worked. He sold his vision when no one else believed in him. That's how he survived, grew, and eventually became a billionaire. He never waited for things to happen. He created opportunities through sales. Think about this lesson in your own life. Even if you don't own a business, you're always selling. When you go to a job interview, you're selling your skills. When you want a promotion, you're selling your value. When you want to influence people, you're selling your ideas. Life is sales, whether you realize it or not. Why does Cuban say sales cure all? Because when money starts flowing in, problems suddenly shrink. You can hire people, build systems, invest in marketing, and create solutions, but without sales, even the best company dies. Sales are proof that people actually want what you're offering. So, how do you apply this? First, stop being afraid of rejection. Cuban himself faced rejection countless times, but every no brought him closer to the yes that changed his life. Second, practice communication. Learn to explain what you do simply and clearly. Third, believe in your product or skill. If you don't believe in it, no one else will. Cuban's advice is tough love. You can have passion, creativity, and talent, but if you can't sell, you will struggle. The world rewards those who bring value and can convince others of that value. Remember this, you don't need to be a smooth talker to sell. You just need to be authentic, persistent, and fearless. Sales are the heartbeat of success, and if you master this one rule, you'll never be broke again. Mark Cuban has zero tolerance for excuses. He says clearly, work like someone is trying to take it all away from you, because they are. The truth is, the world doesn't care about your complaints. If you're broke, tired, unlucky, or facing obstacles, nobody is coming to save you. Complaining only wastes time and energy. Cuban believes that instead of crying about problems, you should focus that same energy on solutions. When he started his first company, Cuban didn't have money, investors, or experience. What he had was relentless work ethic. He worked late nights, learned new skills on his own, and did whatever it took to move forward. While others complained about their situation, he was too busy improving his. That's why he succeeded. The lesson is simple. If you're not where you want to be, stop blaming circumstances, stop blaming people, stop blaming luck. Look in the mirror and ask, am I truly working as hard as I can? Most of the time, the honest answer is no. Cuban says hard work creates luck. The harder you work, the more opportunities appear. The more prepared you are, the faster you can grab those opportunities. People who complain miss chances because they're too focused on negativity. People who work hard attract success because they're always ready. Think of it like this: life is unfair, but complaining won't make it fair. Success is not about fairness, it's about discipline. Even if you start behind others, hard work can close the gap. It may take time, but Cuban insists it's always possible. So, how do you apply this? Change your mindset. Replace complaints with gratitude and action. Outwork everyone. Be the first to start and the last to quit. Focus on solutions. Instead of saying, this is hard, ask, how can I fix it? Stay consistent. One day of hard work won't change your life, but years of it will. Mark Cuban's success is proof. He wasn't born rich, he wasn't born lucky. He simply refused to waste time complaining. He turned every challenge into fuel, and he worked harder than anyone else in the room. That's why he won. Mark Cuban's entire journey proves one unshakable truth: success is earned, not given. He didn't inherit wealth. He wasn't born into power. He built everything from scratch through sacrifice, risk, and relentless effort. Cuban believes that too many people wait for luck, shortcuts, or handouts, but in reality, the only path to success is through discipline and consistent work. He once said, work like hell. I mean, outwork everybody. It's not about money or connections. It's about being willing to outlearn and outwork everyone. This is the rule that ties everything together. Think about it. You can dream big, stay focused, take risks, and avoid excuses, but without consistent action, none of it matters. Dreams without effort remain dreams. Focus without execution is wasted potential. Risk without preparation leads to failure. Cuban mastered all these elements because he combined them with hard, smart, and consistent work. Another lesson he repeats is about accountability. He never blamed others. If something went wrong, he took responsibility and fixed it. That mindset gave him full control over his life. Instead of saying, "Why me?" he said, "What's next?" That small change in attitude is what separates winners from quitters. And finally, Cuban reminds us that success is not about money alone. Money is a result, not the purpose. True success is about freedom, the freedom to live on your terms, to wake up every day and do what you love, to know that you earned it all with your own hands. That kind of success cannot be given by anyone. It must be built brick by brick. So, what's the final takeaway? Stop waiting for luck. Start creating it through effort. Stop blaming. Start owning your results. Stop wishing. Start working. Mark Cuban's rules aren't complicated. They're simple, but not easy. That's why most people fail to follow them. The difference is discipline. If you choose to apply even a fraction of his mindset, your life will change forever. Remember this: opportunity is always there, but only for the ones who are prepared to seize it. And if Mark Cuban could go from selling garbage bags door-to-door to becoming a billionaire, what excuse do you have?